वक्त था वक्त मसीहा न किसी और का वक्त मैं ना आता तो कोई और ही आया होता।
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Dear viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. This na MTA Africa from studios na Saloon. Now welcome to another edition of the program Hidden Treasures. Hidden Treasures, now that program we they discuss the books and where the Promised Messiah alayhi salam don't write in defense of Islam and the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And so far it don't cover so many other aspects then for the one day we be say they're ready for take benefit from them books there, just like how the Promised Messiah alayhi salam incessant don't declare and talk say vo kazaen jo hazarun sal se modfunte abmer deta hun agar koi mile umidwar. Women say that gentry way don't hide over 1,000 years. He say now at the distribute them to that person we be say ready for acceptance. Today we can discuss one part of the books there where the Promised Messiah alayhi salam don't write. We na lecture Sialkot. The Promised Messiah alayhi salam they deliver this lecture here na Sialkot in the year 1904. So for the detail of that lecture, they will be see I get two brothers then from the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat na Saloon. Na mi immediate right, I get brother Ahmad Alfa Sahib. Na mi far right, I get brother Hassan Sisi Sahib. Me brother them now welcome to the program Hidden Treasures. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
I tell una boku thank you for where una can join me for discuss this book here. So today lecture Sialkot. You know, inside this book, the Promised Messiah alayhi salam be therefore explained for say that God Almighty don't continue for give support to Islam and the other religion them not to get this type of support. So for the beautiful explanation where the Promised Messiah alayhi salam don't give inside this book here, I would like for start with brother Ahmad Alfa Sahib for making go explain to Fambulem how the Promised Messiah alayhi salam be explain the reason why Islam they continue for get support from Allah the Almighty and the other religion them not to get that support for now.
Okay. Jazakallahu khairan, Mavisab, for that wonderful question where you asked me. The book where we discuss your lecture, Sialkot, inside the book, the Promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam be right inside say, he say the religions the way they be done day before Islam, God Almighty be done stop for flourish them because they be done lost spirituality. But when it comes to the advent of Islam, where the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam became the Islamic religion, God Almighty not be stop for supporter. Even they always send people the way then they can revamp this religion when an Islamic religion. Even they give support around, just like how somebody gets a garden. This garden here, it gets somebody where they take care of them. Waiting at the gardener where he go come, he go they water the flowers and they water the fruits and so the fruits and go able bear something way very much good so that the people then go able get benefit from that fruit. Say, he make mention of the one example. He say the Christianity be don't lost that kind of support. Now may God Almighty be don't pull hamper the other religions like Christianity and the other religious sects that way be done day before Islam. So inside the Islamic religion, God not been stopped that one day because even they always spend people there when reformers then they can't reform the Islamic religion so that people they're not be able to stop and they're not able left behind for talk about the teachings of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Islamic religion where the Holy Prophet been carried. So during that time, the Promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam be say the people that way then they always they behind the Islamic religion, that they always get this hope say therefore always get support from God Almighty because now God Almighty incessant na inca with this religion for let people then practice in an incessant with this religion for people and at the dunya. It not be time like how I mentioned earlier, like other religions the way they not been get support, they be don't lost spirituality, like the Christianity I make mention of where they can invent another God where it inside the religion, the way the book where the Torah not be make mention of where you can't talk say therefore worship three gods, we get the Trinity, where we they always then they talk about the Trinity. At the same time, inside their own book, waiting at the thing that way God Almighty not be tell them for let them do for example, for let they can't eat the pork what they call the pig. The promised Messiah been say God Almighty not ever tell them that they inside the Torah. But when they come, they can't do some of the things, they put some of the things away. God Almighty not be ever commanded for do. But the religion of Islam, then it not be ever get that kind of filthiness, because it be always get people there where then they can revamp them and try for publish again. Indeed. So that it go able in the proper form like how the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Indeed, Jazakallah Jazab, Brother Ahmad Alpha Sahib, for this wonderful explanation where it don't give, from you we don't learn for see Allah the Almighty they continue for give support to the religion of Islam, where they send Mujahideen, reformers, where they can revive the religion of Islam in each and every century. And you see, just like a gardener, where we say they another garden, they always for they take care of water, they produce nice fruit. You see, now the religion of Islam, but the other religions then do not get that opportunity. So God Almighty nobody supports them in that form. Jazakallah. Inside this book, lecture Sialkot, the promised Messiah alayhi salam, be careful explain the reality of the ascension of Jesus Christ to the heaven. So I will request Brother Hassan Sisesa for making we explain to Fambulem how the promised Messiah alayhi salam don't explain this issue.
This is now one part of the prominent issues that we stand out inside the book lecture Sialkot. And for me to get the true concept, like how the promised Messiah alayhi he explained them in the book. First of all, take we to the ayah na the Quran where they discuss about the crucifixion of Anabi Isa alayhi salam, and he quotes the ayah inside Surah An-Nisa chapter 4 verse 158, who say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say Bar rafa'ullahu ilayhi, that is I elevate him to myself. And when he explain this particular part of the ayah, that the elevation here not mean physical one, na a spiritual one. And for even confirm this, take we to the incident of the Miraj of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That during the incident of the Miraj, he go meet some of the prophet them, prominent one them of Allah the Almighty, including Anabi Isa alayhi salam himself being they doing the Miraj, where this don't show say na spiritual one, not to be physical ascension, it being go up. And he also mentioned inside the book clearly that if we say or those way they claim say Anabi Isa alayhi salam physically go up into the heaven, he say if not so it be, then this could be insult to Anabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he give the reason for this point. He say why? Because time be don't come na Arabia when the prophet be them preach Islam, the disbelievers then be say, well, we not go believe you unless we see you go up na heaven physically with your body, then you come down with book for we carry that for we. Until you do so, we not go believe you. What thing being for happen? Allah the Almighty Sesef being therefore revealed to the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this one day inside the Holy Quran, inside Surah Bani Israel, chapter 17, verse 94. God Almighty being therefore command the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam for talk say that tell them that me na motaman we Allah don't send as prophet to una. So the explanation to this verse, the promised Messiah al-Islam make it clear that imagine here Allah the Almighty on this occasion not let the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam physically go up into the heavens, even though when the disbelievers have the demand for that day. So it not happen. So why it happen? In the case of Anabi Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. No. And when we all know that the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam are the greatest of all the prophets and way Allah the Almighty sent na the dunya. So this means say not to be in any physical ascension, it be happen with Anabi Isa alayhi salam. And the other thing again where the promised Messiah alayhi salam draw we all attention to, that for the fact say we all na motaman them, Allah the Almighty na the Quran do emphasize say this dunya ya na day we come, na ya go na ya go so to we return, and we return back to Allah the Almighty. For strength in this point, we also get for quote from the Holy Quran, from Surah Al-A'raf, chapter 7, verse 26. Who say Allah the Almighty say, Fiha tahyawna wa fiha tamutuna wa minha tukrajun. That na this dunya ya, na ya una go live una life, na ya una go stay, na ya self una go die, and from there God Almighty go raise una. Where this don't show say indeed that physical ascension where other people believe in, and physically God Almighty go with Jesus Christ alayhi salam into the second heavens, not also it be, but a spiritual one. God Almighty being for elevating spiritual one.
Jazakumullah Hasana Jazak, Brother Hassan Sisi Sahib, for this wonderful explanation way it don't give, you know, it don't make, we don't learn for say Nabila Isa alayhi salam, Jesus Christ alayhi salam, you know, go up to the sky with in physical body, but everything happened in that spiritual form, right? And I go like for continue with you, you know, inside this book, the Promised Messiah alayhi salam, be therefore explain the similarity of the Messiah of Moses alayhi salam and the similarity between the Messiah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So I want for make it explain to Fambulen the similarities than the way the Promised Messiah alayhi salam don't write inside this book.
Jazakumullah Hassan Jazak, a very important question. Indeed, similarity there between the two Messiah them. When it be explain this point, it been first get for start for explain the similarity between the Mosaic dispensation as well as the Muhammadan dispensation. And inside the book it mentioned that the time of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, he been get for gain victory over Pharaoh, Fir'aun, and in Sojamandem. And we all know that God Almighty been get for make them drown na the sea. So Moses alayhi salam been get for gain victory over Pharaoh. The same thing also happened in the time of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Instead being for gain victory over a young Pharaoh of in time when Abu Jahal. We see say the Muslims then being for gain victory and Islam being for reign supreme, way being for fulfill a verse of the Holy Quran, where Allah the Almighty record na the Holy Quran, where they inside chapter 73 verse 16, and inside the Allah the Almighty say, Inna arsalna ilaykum rasulan shahidan alaykum kama arsalna ila fir'auna rasula. That indeed we don't send to a messenger, we a witness over una, even as we've been sent a messenger to Pharaoh. So this particular ayah of the Holy Quran being therefore fulfilled. The other similarity between them two ayah they are also therefore do with the ending of how they come. At the end of the Mosaic dispensation, Allah the Almighty being therefore sent Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, where it come at a critical time, where that time boku corruption be don't enter, you know, among the people of the Jews them, you know, wickedness be don't boku, evil be don't they among them boku one. So Anabi Isa alayhi salam been come for can teach them how for be soft, you know, how not for believe in violence. So it come at that critical time. And also, it not be only tap with the way how they behave, but they don't lost their kingdom, they don't lost their empire. So nothing able to go on fine for them. Now that time, Anabi Isa alayhi salam come, you know, for can bring to them the good news. So inside this book as well, the Promised Messiah alayhi salam, he explained that in don't come in the person or the character of Anabi Isa alayhi salam. And he say it don't come at a critical time as well. You know, that time with boku corruption don't come inside Islam. The Muslims don't left the exact teachings of Islam. They don't derail, they don't left the track, and they do something else when of you waiting Islam don't teach. So he say instead don't come at that time for can reconnect with the true teachings of Islam. And the other similarity between again the two Messiah them now that Anabi Isa alayhi salam become 14th century, you know, after Musa alayhi salam. The same thing also happened with the time of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that approximately 14th century after he don't passed away, now the time he say he don't making claim, he don't make an announcement as the Messiah of the time. And we watch the teachings them as well where they encourage a teaching, you know, for come make the ground soft, you know, after way some wickedness and evil done boku. The same thing happened with Anabi Isa alayhi salam and also with the time of the Promised Messiah alayhi salam. And in fact, when come he announced say that jihad way una don't misrepresent and misunderstand, that was not the jihad, you know, Islam teach. Una don't misrepresent them, and Muslims we not forgo that way. The best jihad now, that the jihad of the pen, the jihad where you could transform, you change yourself into a better person for make you go for win the hearts and minds of other people and through your beautiful and way how you behave and these things. So these are the ways them the Promised Messiah Islam used for compare the two Messiah inside the book lecture Sialkot.
Good. Jazakumullah sana jaza. We say plenty thank you to Brother Hassan Sisesa for this powerful explanation where it don't give with regard to the way how the dispensation of Moses alayhi salam figure with the dispensation of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Looking at the timing and also the condition, the situation, the teachings, everything. You don't explain them in detail. May God Almighty bless you for that. One part the thing that we are on for bring out where you explain that towards the ending of the dispensation of Moses alayhi salam, the 14th century, the Messiah Jesus Christ alayhi salam began for appear. And similarly, again, the dispensation of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the 14th century, the Messiah began for appear in the person of Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad of Qadian alayhi salam, and he announced to the world for saying that very Messiah way for come. And the similarities, of course, you don't explain plenty one them. I believe say the viewers themselves don't enjoy a lot. And inside this book, lecture Sialkot, the other thing where the promised Messiah alayhi salam explained now the importance of the prayer will be say it follow with true knowledge. So the explanation where the promised Messiah alayhi salam don't give inside this book, I go request with brother Ahmad Alpha Sahib, what the promised Messiah alayhi salam don't give the explanation where the promised Messiah alayhi salam don't give inside this book. I would like for make you give that explanation here to Fambule.
Jazakallahu khairan, Mobisab. Inside this book, the promised Messiah, alayhi salatu wasalam, be write the importance of prayer. Inside the book, it say one of the importance of prayer where mortal man go get, it transform mortal man in life. Waiting at the transformation, where would they look at her? You will be they do bad or you will they do anything way wrong. If they all able to transform you, that prayer they go transform you in a good way so that you go able to know the attainment of God Almighty in spirituality, where you go there as somebody where you they pray. And the other thing where again it say again where you they pray, it they make it they stop for let you not do bad inside any society where you dey, because that prayer they try for move you in the way that for let you become somebody where you could. If you talk say again somebody where they pray, he always remember that in prayer day, but they cannot in mind so no more because he don't they used to prayer. This not something where he go able make for let you know God Almighty in nearness they always closer to him, because when somebody they pray, he always they closer to God Almighty, and then they go able make that person they become very much important in our society. And if they even add respect to you in our societies, when somebody they pray, mostly people that they give respect to you because you're not somebody where you don't they very close to God Almighty, and then they add so many respect to you now your society who's how you day. The other importance of prayer where somebody they look at where the person they pray, it they make it they let God Almighty. Waiting at the way how it they let God Almighty. The person will be proud, it be able to make the person become humble, it they make himself so much humble so that where it they go, it they get God Almighty in nearness. Because people the way then they pray, they always they closer to God Almighty. And one day again when then they pray, then one day it just feel by like somebody it they wash in body with water, you know go get one dirty per that in body day, because that body the way be done dirty. Prayer they able refine and fine, it wash you fine and make you clean. Now the world who say you day, and God Almighty go able look you as somebody with very important now the world. And then they help for let you become closer to God Almighty. Because when you they pray, anytime when you they pray this now the society or the environment society or the home self society, God Almighty don't tell you say always now good thing then they can they, bad thing not they ever can they, because God Almighty they always protect the one the way then they pray fervently to because of the oneness of God Almighty way you don't believe in then they help for let you protect you from other bad thing the way they can that you way.
The other thing where the promised Messiah alayhi salam be right inside this book, lecture Sialkot, now that it be explain the 3 ways how somebody go able for recognize, for verify a true prophet of God Almighty, for say really then 3 things there when he see them in that particular person they we don't call himself for saying a prophet, then he must be saying a prophet of God Almighty according to the promised Messiah alayhi salam. So that explanation where the promised Messiah alayhi salam don't give inside this book, I will request brother Hassan Sisi for making go explain that to Fambul them.
Yeah, then 3 conditions they are then very much important according to the promised Messiah alayhi salam in order for me to for identify that through somebody with the talk say indeed it come up from God Almighty. And he explained them inside the book. He said the first one, he forgets help with reason. Meaning, the time where that prophet they claim say it come from God Almighty, reason for able for talk say indeed this is not the actual time where it for come. No. And waiting at the condition of the people at that time where it come. That time where it come, the people need divine guidance, they need divine help. So reason self for dictate the time where the person they claim say in a prophet. The second point where it talk about now that prophecies them for day from prophet them we been come before them, where they talk say so person get for come. Prophecy now where when somebody go say well after some time this go happen. So record for day for proof say indeed prophet them we be don't come before that person they will make that claim. Then they don't talk say so person get for come. That now the other second condition we also very much important. The third point now say according to the promised Messiah alayhi salam, that person there with they claim say it come out from God Almighty, he forgets God Almighty help, and he forget God Almighty in support. Yeah. Meaning, God for day with him, God for support him, and God for help him, for make he go succeed in the work way Allah the Almighty don't send him for. So if you not get Allah in support, if God Almighty not battle him, you know they be him, then easily we'll go for tell say this person na lie person. Yeah. But he say if we see all the conditions there way it don't highlight, then fulfill in a person where talk say it come out from God Almighty, he say when I believe him, indeed such somebody it come out from God, and these are the signs them we not go for no say this person a true person.
Jazakumullah sana jaza, brother Hassan Sisesa for this beautiful explanation where it don't give with regards to the three ways where somebody go able for recognize for say this particular person here where don't make a claim for say he come out from God Almighty, for say in a prophet of Allah the Almighty. How we go for recognize that particular person there indeed. You don't bring out the explanation where the promised Messiah don't give you, one parenting indeed. At the time of the appearance of that particular person there, whether really need they for making go appear at that time, whether the condition don't they in need of such a prophet, right? That now one part in the way the promised Messiah don't explain inside this book. And the second one, it become known and clear to we for say, now the prophecies, whether prophecies then beyond they trade for say so person get for come so term, for check records, whether prophecies then they indeed. When we not check for say the prophecies then they where they exist for say yeah now so term where they don't talk for say so person get for come, then una will believe in that particular person there. The third one will be say now the help where that particular person they enjoy special favor, special help from Allah the Almighty for say God Almighty they really support her for say they utam they always give your own support in order to come up. So from there we will able to know for say this particular person here now true person we don't come out from Allah the Almighty. We don't really enjoy the explanation we una don't give from this lecture where the promised Messiah be delivered in the year 1904. Now Sialkot, I believe that the viewers themselves don't enjoy a lot from what you don't explain today. Me brothers them, and they say plenty thank you to Uno where una don't join me today for discuss this book here lecture Sialkot. Dear viewers, now that's time permitting for the discussion of this book here. So today lecture Sialkot, I they encourage each and every one of una for making go visit we official website when www.alislam.org. Go to the library, you go see the books name of the promised Messiah alayhi salam. Where you enter there, you click there, you go see this book here we discuss here. So today lecture Sialkot, download that and read them for your own very self so that you go understand fine one, better one, the kind way how the promised Messiah alayhi salam don't write beautifully and explain inside this book here. But for the one day we did now this week country Sierra Leone, I refer them to we headquarters number 15 Bar Street, Bluefield, Freetown for make them come and buy the hard copy at a low cost. Until we meet again next time, I say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
वक्त था वक्त मसीहा न किसी और का वक्त मैं ना आता तो कोई